Chapter 9. Fetch. 5 minutes of this cat and mouse game and I've made up my mind. This cleric's taking a round to the face when I catch up to him. Since he ran off, he's led me in and out of a series of collapsed and half-standing buildings. So much for being outside the city. He was lying to me, even back when I saved his life. I don't even know if this is the same city we were in when we first entered the tunnels. No way to tell. Maybe we walked from one city to another, or maybe he just took me round in circles down there. I cross a shattered street, moving more slowly than I'd like. Moving is important in this chill air though. My eyes are still adjusting to the dawn light after so long in the dark. I keep them covered with my free hand. I don't need to look up to follow the tracks he's leaving. That tells me something too. Either he doesn't know how to cover his tracks, or he doesn't care if I follow him. I hope it's the first option, because the second one would mean he's confident that when he reaches his destination, there's nothing I can do to him. That's not good, but I'm not letting him go now. I don't even wonder why not. I stop for a moment and listen. Come on. There. The distant sound of breaking glass comes from the direction of a buckled building ahead of me and to my left. I skirt along the roadside in its shade and then dash in. No time to be tactical if I want to catch him. No time to pay attention to the black mounds that litter the street around me and crunch under my feet as I climb over them in the rubble. I follow his trail through the building and finally hop through a wide window and into a broad road. I look around for signs of which way he went. That's when I realise this isn't the same city we were in before. At the end of the long road, stood dead in the heart of the broken metropolis, towers a hulking structure of white, marble-like stone. To my eyes, it takes the form of an immensely tall cathedral, like Notre Dame on steroids. From one corner, a square tower soars upward, topped by spiked crenulations. Its twin on the other corner nearest to me has been smashed apart. There should be towers on the far corners too, but I can't see if they're still there. The sun rising up behind the whole thing gives it an ethereal feel. Part of me wishes I could just stop and admire it, and for a moment a part of me wishes I could have seen it back before the war. Then again, it wouldn't have made any sense to my eyes back then. It wouldn't have looked like this. I know where I am now. This is a temple, which means that this is one of the 4 capital cities. Looking up at the mostly intact structure, I realise that at least some of the fleet's bombing must have been indiscriminate, or this place would have been one of the first things to be levelled, to shatter morale if nothing else. The temple is damaged in places, but clearly still standing. Perhaps this was one of the first areas targeted, and the Red's defences protected it to some degree. From what I remember of the lectures they gave us on Red religious beliefs, that would make sense. This would have been one of the most important places on the whole planet to them. Far up the road, little clouds of dust jump up and drift on the wind. I pull my AK round and draw it up to my shoulder. My scope still sits on the U-rail, and looking through it I see the cleric running away from me as a twitching yellow figure on a background of blue. I knew where he was headed the minute I saw the temple. He's got more of a head start than I thought. Now I just regret that the AK's empty. One good shot here and now, and I could have ended this. Wishing won't make it happen, my mother used to say. I sling the AK again and get after him.